Wisdom. It's an incredibly valuable asset. Some would say more precious than gold. It's attractive, appealing, admirable. Conversely, a lack of wisdom is the basis of immaturity, blind spots, and bad decisions. Wisdom. It can be gained over time, but it can't be rushed. But wisdom can be shared. That's precisely what we are here to do right now. Today, we are here to hack wisdom, to distill it, to understand it, and to process it. Why? To get better at life. Welcome to the main thing. This is your new 9-minute podcast. I'm your host, Skip Linneberg, and I've set out to interview the wisest people I know. We'll see what we can learn from each one when they're faced with an incredibly difficult, soul-piercing question. Hey, this is Skip, your host, and it's always great to welcome you back here to this place of wisdom, learning, and personal growth, our little learning space, and I'm honored to share it with you each and every time. Today, we're doing something a little different. I'll be sharing a wisdom lesson with you, but there won't be a guest. Just me sharing wisdom. A short wisdom lesson of, you guessed it, about 9 minutes. So we're calling these special editions Skip's Quips. Don't worry, we'll still bring you wisdom conversations with our special wise guests twice a month, just like always. And I think you'll find these Skip's Quips a nice complement to our regular wisdom programming. Now, we'll plan to do these about 6 times a year, about every other month, and that's just extra wisdom for you. So for now, get ready for this debut episode of Skip's Quips. Buckle up because I've got quite the tale to share with you today. It's a story of fainting spells, doctor's offices, and the surprising power of words. I was at my doctor's today for my annual physical exam, and I couldn't help but remember this story from 10 years ago. That was the day I woke up in my doctor's office, folded forward in my chair in the exam room. Someone was tapping my cheek lightly. Mr. Linneberg, Skip, hello. As my field of vision rekindled and expanded, I saw my primary care doctor moving in from my left. He reached under my shoulder to pull me upright into the exam chair. And the cheek tapper, well, that was his nurse, Darlene, standing in front of me about an arm's length to my right. Coming back to coherence, I began to hear my doc saying to Darlene, let's hold off on that procedure. I think he's done for the day. Let's just refer him out to a dermatologist. You see, I had lost consciousness, fainted. What caused me to faint? Well, the culprit was an innocent 3-word phrase. 3 plain words. I'm not proud of it, mind you. I'm more amused than anything, but it's a testament to the sheer power of language. You know, words can trigger all sorts of reactions in our bodies if we think about it. Fight or flight, laughter, sadness, joy, surprise, apparently even fainting. Who knew? So what caused my brain to send signals down my vagus nerve, to escalate my breathing, produce a lovely cold sweat across my upper body, and double my heart rate in the matter of a millisecond? I'll get to that in a moment. A bit of background for context. Those of you over the age of 40, maybe you've noticed that your body suddenly begins to adorn itself with these lovely brown spots. First comes brown spot number 1, and it's a bit of a shock. And then after time, there's more than you care to count. And typically, I don't think much of these spots. However, one Saturday about this time of year, we had just come back from a summer beach trip, and I noticed like this almond-shaped brown patch on my left shoulder as I was looking in the bathroom mirror that morning, and it was suspiciously darker and bigger than those other sunspots. My wife, Lisa, took a look at it, and she said, babe, I think you should have that looked at by your doctor. Let's just be on the safe side, she said. So, of course, I went to Google, like we all do, and searched frantically, looking for what this could be, and now I'm familiar with terms like keratosis and basal cell. Fun times, let me tell you. So eventually off to the doctor's office I went, where I found myself perched in that infamous exam chair waiting for some answers, and boy did I get them. After a quick once-over, the doctor drops the bomb. Darlene, I'd like you to prepare Mr. Linneberg for a straight razor excision. Next, the doc said something like, Skip, we're just going to take that patch off with the razor right here, right now in the office. All I could hear was that 3-word phrase, Straight razor excision, echoing inside my mind as if someone had shouted it into a canyon. Razor, 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 excision, incision, incision. The cascade of thoughts began to swirl, thoughts of a razor blade or a box cutter knife and blood. Then went my vision, bright white, ultra bright, hot, white, bright light. Long story short, that's when I fainted, right then and there. Not my finest moment, I'll admit it. But here's the kicker. It turns out that ominous brown patch wasn't cancerous after all. A few weeks and a gentle biopsy later, and I was in the clear. It's funny how things work out, isn't it? But enough about me and my fainting spells. Let's talk about the real star of the show, words. You see, words have power. They can shock us, move us, even trigger involuntary reactions in our bodies. My little escapade in Doc's office is proof of that. Nevertheless, I still love words, as you know, partly because words also have the power to effectuate positive outcomes and results. Take, for example, a conversation I had with my close friend Andy about a year ago. My family was knee-deep in a health crisis with my son, and I was on the verge of losing hope. Andy had been a best friend, a stalwart of support. Our conversations were a great mix of learning, laughter, and encouragement. But on this one dreary December day, much to my surprise, Andy blurted out, "Skip, we need you to be okay. Buddy, we need you to be okay." That 6-word phrase was pure, unfiltered truth. People were depending on me. It was no time for me to wallow in self-pity or slide into depression. There would be time later to process the pain and the sadness, to reflect and to heal. But now was not that time. My son needed me, and so did my family and friends. It was tough love that Andy brought, those 6 powerful words, "We need you to be okay." Andy's words snapped me out of something. Major positive words that brought me back into a mindset of power, strength, confidence, and resolve. Perhaps unwittingly, Andy had set an intention for me. Whatever the case, it worked. I found the strength to forge ahead, to lead, to care for others. Good thing, too, since the journey would continue on for many more months. Now today, my son Sherman has regained his health. Any day now, he's able to get up in the morning and do just about anything he chooses. That is a great gift. That's a huge blessing, and praise God. It's moments like these that remind me of the incredible impact words can have. They can deflate us. They can make us fold over at the waist, unconscious, fainted in a doctor's chair. But by the same token, words can lift us up. Words can bring us to our knees, or words can propel us forward. So as you head into the week ahead, I challenge you to consider the power of your words. Who can you uplift? Who needs to hear a word of encouragement? Whether it's a friend, family member, or a teammate, just remember that your words have the power to make a difference. I'll catch you next time, guys. Wow, that goes by incredibly fast, doesn't it? Time flies when you're hacking wisdom. I hope you're left wanting more. Sync up with us again next time on The Main Thing for 9 more minutes of wisdom.